No Village Club podcast. My name is Kerrene and I am your host. The No Village Club is an online space that I have created for women who are navigating motherhood without their built in village, their family, whether that's by choice or by circumstance. I cannot believe that I had the opportunity to go on another podcast, not just any podcast. It is Beyond the Bump, which is Australia's probably like number one podcast when it comes to motherhood. It is definitely number one in my heart. I joked with the girls there that being on their podcast was so surreal because in my first year postpartum, they were definitely like a parasocial village for me. I just love how they speak to motherhood, and I think a lot of the topics they discuss of like overwhelm and mental load and sharing the load with your partner and, building your village has been really resonant with my experience entering new motherhood. And just listening to other mothers talk about modern motherhood really made me feel more normal and less crazy in my experience of postpartum. So I was so excited to be on the podcast, and I want to take some time today to just share some reflections that I had after doing our recording. So, yeah, let's get into it. We sat down and talked for probably close to an hour and a half, and we covered a lot of topics, but mostly within the realm of mothering without your village and all the different aspects of that. And what it looks like to build your village where you are, what it looks like to live abroad from your family or live at a distance from your family, especially while you have a child, and how to find support and how that relates to postnatal depression that I experienced and postnatal rage that I experienced as well. Something that I never really talk about on the internet is how I am estranged from my mother. And that is a part of my motherhood journey and definitely contributes to the feeling or like the reality of mothering without a village, because even if I were home, even if I were living home, I still would have this circumstance where I don't have that motherly figure present in my life, and that creates its own sort of loneliness in motherhood. So I was really excited to be on the podcast because I was like, there is nothing better when you are a mother than hearing that someone else is going through the same thing as you. And I think as mothers, we get by relating and resonating with each other's experiences. So I was so excited to be able to take what was like a really challenging year of my life postpartum and really isolating and really lonely in many ways, and talk about it and hopefully create some resonance and some healing for other mothers who have experienced that and maybe don't have the ways to articulate it or are going through that right now and might not realize different aspects of it and how it's manifesting in their life, but can like hear me talk about it and hear me articulate it and hear me share, and the ripple effect that that could have in terms of like change, whether that's change in someone's personal motherhood journey or whether that's change in, policy. I don't know. I have no idea who's listening, but I just hope that the ripple effect is only positive and only healing for us all as mothers. So yeah, that was my motivation for going on the podcast, was just to have this like ripple effect of you are so valid and you are so validated in your experience, and I'm right there with you having gone through the trenches, and this is what I'm doing about that, and maybe it will help a mother out there to hear that and to take the courage to like accept help and ask for help and advocate for herself and like build a village where she is, because that's really what my life work is right now. I feel that motherhood is really unseen in a lot of ways. Like often what we go through happens at night. It happens alone in our homes with our children, and or it's at like unconventional daytime hours when we're out walking our prams, or we're out at these like, children's activities or baby rhyme times or times at the library or what have you. All of these different stages of life that we go through as mothers that we talk about, I feel like it can often be seen as like boring or complaining, or like we just have nothing better to talk about. On the surface, it seems like we're just talking about sleep deprivation or we're just talking about the mental load. But really, on a deeper level, through finding other mothers that resonate, we are healing through connection and we are healing through resonance. The more that I've been talking about my own journey into motherhood that's still unraveling and unfolding in real time, the more I feel like I'm healing and I'm growing and I'm able to understand what's happening to me. And I'm able to like reclaim the experiences that I'm having. I'm feeling seen and heard and validated. I get DMs every day from others who are like, oh my gosh, yes, I am someone who lives abroad from my family. I live away from everything I've known. Like, I had no idea how this would impact my motherhood journey. And they feel so seen and validated through just someone talking about it online. And in return, like I feel seen and validated by them. And like some part of me heals through knowing that I'm not the only one going through this experience. And so when I have days where I feel homesick or days where I feel unsupported, I know that this is not an individual experience and that there's not something that's just wrong with me. Through the power of storytelling and communicating with other mothers, and through being open and being vulnerable, I've moved into a sort of self acceptance that allows me to heal and allows me to feel like, you know what, I do need support and I do need help. And it's okay that I do, because the experience that I'm going through right now is tough. It is challenging. And even if I did choose to move abroad and I did choose to, live away from my built in village, my family, it's okay that that's also hard. It's okay that that brings about challenges. It's okay that I feel homesick. It's okay that I'm scared about whether or not my son will have a good connection with my family. It's okay that I feel guilty. And it's okay that I feel extremely happy and fortunate to be living in Australia and to be raising a baby in Australia. And it's okay that I am wonderfully supported by the systems here that allowed me to have a birth that was cost free and a maternity leave and the ability to stay home with my son. Like multiple things can be true at once. But to bring it back to when I was on the podcast and I'm sharing my story and I'm sharing, bits of my postpartum experience, and I'm sharing what it's like to live abroad and how I'm going about building a village where I am. I was just so reminded of like, gosh, this is powerful. Sharing your story and sharing your experience is so powerful, and it's healing and it's encouraging, and it can be a redirection. So I just wanted to share that because I feel like if you are someone who feels like you're alone in this, like maybe it could benefit you to talk about it. Make sure people know what you're going through, and don't be afraid to advocate for yourself by just talking about it to someone who's going to be someone who can truly listen. And, it's a reminder of like why I created this space, because oftentimes if we do live abroad, if we do live without like real support systems in our lives, you might not actually have someone physically in your life that's able to listen to you. So if you are listening to this and you don't necessarily have someone in your life that's going to like listen to you and get it, take yourself to our No Village Club group chat and let us know like how you're doing, how you're feeling at this stage in your motherhood journey. And like feel free to share where you're at in your motherhood journey, because we'd all love to hear it. I'll have it linked in the show notes, but it's also on Substack at No Village Club. I will see you there, and I will also see you in the next episode.